Tuned in to www.oghuskyradio.com, broadcast live from the east side of Los Angeles worldwide. A special guest every week, and not Instagram. No, we don't recycle, but we do archive hip hop. And there's a few artists besides him that I want to get in here just because I know a lot of who they are and their perspective, because I know them personally, has changed. With that, go ahead and introduce yourself, who we have up in the spot.
My name is Gasoline from MTA, West Coast Artists, JOR Graffiti Crews, Los Angeles, California.
What got you into graph, or what started you into graph?
Started me in graffiti, being in the streets, seeing people out there. Just actually, what got me into graffiti was probably subway art. Being a young kid, reading subway art, and wanted to do that. And then people who actually got me into graffiti, be a Baser, LOD, or OTR, Chic, OTR, LOD, and probably Show or CBS were the first people who got me like, here's a Mean Street kid, go do this.
What area did you grow up in LA?
Northeast Los Angeles.
I did not know that.
Shits and giggles.
Why are we redoing this interview? Why do we have you in here?
We're basically redoing this interview per my own request, for the simple fact that the first time I came in here was about 2-3 years ago, and I was pretty much a drunken mess, and I didn't want the representation of myself when people saw that old interview to be like, hey, this is that guy in the street doing this artwork, and they see this interview and be like, man, he's a drunk, you know, like no one takes a drunk seriously. And as graffiti to me, what you're basically doing is you're promoting yourself as your own product to the street, and nobody's gonna want to buy a shitty half-ass product. So if you give the people a clean-cut representation of yourself, you have a better chance of, I guess, meeting other people out there in the world and networking with them on a better level than looking at you like just a drunk.
Then with that, in the art aspect of it, then what is gasoline? What, if that's what you represent, what is it? What does gasoline mean then? Like the name, how did you get it? And you know what I mean? Like
the name?
Yeah.
The name I picked out of a hat. I wrote a name prior to that, had some legal situations as a young teenager. I was basically told by the police to my mother, if your son keeps writing this name all over this Northeast area, we're gonna press full extent charges. I caught a little juvenile hall time, and somewhere in there, I thought to myself, I need a new name. I just wanted to pick a name that, something easy to remember, and something that just sounded powerful, like rock, steel, power, energy, and gasoline just came to me. Like, I actually write gasoline. I write gaso because it's a lot shorter. But yeah, it seems like a powerful word, you know? Before all that smoking on gas and shit, you know, like.
At Super Unleaded Gasoline on Instagram. Why did you stop drinking then?
Why I stopped drinking? Well, I was pretty much up to a Hennessy bottle, a fifth of Hennessy every day, sometimes 2 a day. And time caught up with me, pretty much. I was taken to emergency room one night, and the doctor pretty much told me if I continued to keep drinking the way that I was drinking, that I wouldn't live more than a couple years. And seeing your loved ones cry around you and friends reach out to you and tell you, hey, you're better than this, and you really need to put that bottle down, is, you know, God's plan, I guess, is a moment of clarity.
Did you listen to anybody before that, or had you considered it, or it was just at that instance? Like, I'm sure people had told you from before.
Had people told me? Yeah, my closest friends told me, look, you really have a problem, and you need to put that bottle down. But I guess when you're in the depths of any kind of addiction, you're really not trying to hear that at that point. You're just like, fuck you, I'm gonna do me, I know what's right, what's wrong for me. When a doctor tells you that, I think you kind of look at it on a professional level. But like, he's not telling me this, he's my friend, he doesn't care whether I live or not or die. He's just giving me medical advice, and I just followed it.
From when you were drinking the fifth or 2 fifths or whatever, as much as you would drink.
As much as I could at that point.
What was it about that time in your life that wasn't you, that you realize now?
The lack of drive and ambition I got towards artwork, and anything that I cared about in my life wasn't taken seriously. I mean, it was taken seriously, obviously, but it was a back burner thing, probably from dealing with my kids and dealing with my friends and my job and my hustle, and especially my artwork. Like, I could be totally content to go a week and catch a couple tags and whatever, but if I had that bottle, that was the most important thing to me on a day-to-day basis. And being sober in retrospect, without that bottle, it gives me a lot more time to feel things that I want to do as a sober person, my real dreams and my ambitions and my goals and things that I want to chase.
The Northeast Los Angeles side of me has to ask you, so do you think you're better than everyone else because you stopped drinking?
I'm better than the old person I was. No one, whether you have $1 million or you on the street, no one's better than anybody. We're all different individuals. I made a choice that was best for me and best for my family and best for my financial situation and ultimately best for my health. And so, yeah, I'm better for me. If people think that I think that I'm better than them, that's their own insecurities. I'm not better than anybody.
So what if this is just a phase and you fall off back to the old GASO?
That would sure suck for my art drive and my dedication, what I'm trying to become myself and put myself out there to be. Worst case scenario, if I were to mess up and have a drink, it's not the end of the world. You get back on the horse. It happens. I mean, to say I'm never ever gonna touch a drop of alcohol against the day I die, it's a nice goal. But if it happened, I wouldn't beat myself up over it and say, oh, look at you, you're a failure, you can't get back on that horse. You know, it happens to the best of people. You know, it's a mistake. You should learn from it and get back on it. But at this point, I'm really trying not to drink for at least 5 years. Well, 3 more years to make it 5 years, and then we'll just go from there.
So then the boxes came, for those that don't know, the utility boxes.
Utility boxes.
Every box that you see that you look at and like, nah, this one is done a lot better than the rest. They're pretty much all yours.
That's that am I better than somebody thing. Like if people tell me my boxes look better than other people's boxes, that's personal opinion, you know.
I'm saying it.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
Nah, what got you into doing the boxes and break it down like as much?
That was actually kind of like when I stopped drinking, I was kind of like, okay, so now what? I got this empty time to fill, and this, you know, when you're drinking in an addiction, I guess that's your primary focus, and what you're doing is getting drunk or getting high or whatever. Not to knock anybody who's still doing that, because each his own, you know, but it wasn't a good primary focus for me. And I think around the time that I got sober, I was in downtown LA, and I noticed a couple boxes had been done by Jennifer Corson. She draws the hearts, John Silverlake, and a teacher. You know, he's to me, he was the man who really said, I was like, man, this guy has his artwork on these corners, and it's just legitly sitting there, and no one's fucking with it. I mean, tags come and go, but if the general public seems to like it. And I ran into that girl Jennifer Corson while she was painting a box on 7th and Wilshire and Figueroa. And I hit her up. I was like, hey, you know, I noticed you have a couple of these boxes on the city. Like, how do you get into doing something like this? And she kind of broke it down to me. You go to the city and apply and this and that. And I kind of followed her up on it and applied to the city. And I got my first box down on like 6th and Flower. And I went back to the city and I asked them for more boxes after they had promised me more. And the chick was kind of like, well, yeah, get back to you, kick rocks to that, you're bugging me type of thing. And I went up to a street art show and ran into teacher and kind of picked his mind for a minute and asked him, how'd you get all these boxes out here? Like, how are they paying you for this? And he was just like, you just get them, man. I was like, light went off. Like, why am I not just going to get them? So that's pretty much what I'm doing. A lot of people are like saying, oh, those boxes you do are all legal. Like, really? Are they? I mean,
well, we won't get into too much of that, but do you get paid to do those boxes?
For approaching 80-something boxes, I've been paid for a total of 4 thus far. I'm applying for 1 more in District 4 to get paid for as we speak, and I have another 3 coming back to me in the Valley potentially next month. So out of all those 80-plus boxes, you're talking like 7 or 8.
So you got paid off a graph or for your art. Did you sell out?
I got paid, as they say. Like, did I sell out? If you think I sold out, hey, you go run these streets for 20 plus years and do what I did out there and go to jail and go through trials and tribulations and have nothing to show for it, and someone show you $1 for it. Did I sell out? Call what you want. I'm not strictly only ever going to paint boxes again for money. I'm doing it because it's art that I want to do, whether I get paid for it or not.
Over 20 years, right, in the game? About,
yeah. Do the math. In 91, 92,
Did graph change or did you change?
Both. I got older, and I don't know. I love graffiti. Graffiti's fun and dandy, but I got tired of catching a spot, and 3 weeks later, my spot wasn't there, or my spot was dissed, or the risk that came with it, risking going to jail every time you put your name on a wall. Whereas painting all these boxes now, I can go out there and paint a box in the corner in broad daylight, have cops roll up to me and say, hey, great job, guy. Doctors, lawyers, old ladies, men, women, children, the respect level is different. Like, you know, I like that respect. I like to be acknowledged by everybody, not just the graph writers. I mean, they're my friends, and the dopest graph writers in the game love the boxes. People who are like, oh man, that's not graffiti, are younger kids who haven't even paid dues yet. Keep pointing your finger at anybody who's gone through all this shit. I laid the footwork for them. They have the audacity to point fingers. Fuck them.
How can they, especially the young kids, how can they know that they're your boxes? Like, what's one thing that they see on it or something?
Well, first and foremost, there's a sign on the bottom of every box. It says at Super Unleaded Gasoline. You know, you write on my boxes, it is what it is. Yeah, we can go the whole debate that, oh, well, it's not graffiti, man. I'm out here bombing, catching wreck. But even in my prime, I had enough respect. That's what graffiti lacks now, is respect, to see someone's artwork. Whether it was artwork or graffiti artwork, it was someone else's creativity in a wall, and I didn't go up to it to disrespect it, you know, intentionally. Maybe I fucked up once, and a big homie was like, hey, you know, as a matter of fact, I did fuck up once on Melrose. The guy who did the Rage Against the Machine album cover, the Shadow, the Phantom.
Yeah, Phantom.
I saw it down there on Melrose. I was in CBS one day, and I think I wrote like a smiley face or some shit in it. And the big homie Anger was like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? And I was like, oh, he's like, don't you know who that is? That's an artist, just like you're an artist, but another walk of life doing his thing. And you wouldn't like it if some dumbass came up to your, I guess now we can say, box or my piece or my graffiti or my tag, and for no other reason than they thought it was funny writing on your shit. And so that was kind of wake-up call. I was like, just leave art alone. You know, you might not like it, you might not respect it, but just let it be. It's not yours to make that decision.
That was being passed down to you, and it's a trip that you're on the other side of that, because there's few artists. Rest in peace, Search was another artist.
My nigga, rest in peace, Search, all fucking day.
Search and yourself go to these events and reach out to cats that are still doing it. So, like, for people to, like, I just trip out when they're like, we don't know who that is, or, like, you know what I mean? Or who he is. Like, if you know even the little bit of history, you got to know who this dude is. You know what I mean? The same way someone told you, you had someone older to tell you. But like I said, for me, the thing that's frustrating for me is that you are out there. And you're you know what I mean? You're talking to everybody. You're talking to the younger generation. You're at the shows. How frustrating is that for you and shit?
The talking to him part?
Nah, the like getting your shit dissed, man. Like,
it is what it is. It comes to the territory. It pisses me off. Sometimes I throw it on the gram. People get mad. Like, why are you dissing my crew? In retrospect, like, why is your crew dissing my box? Like, you know, like, that's what it boils down to. Like, getting your message out there, it's a bitch. Kids, I mean, my own kids don't want to listen anymore. The respect level has gone out the window, you know. We didn't grow up on the Cosby Show and the Facts of Life shit. These kids grew up on, like, the Cardi B's and the Migos. Like, I'm going to do me. I'm going to get my shit out there. Fuck what you talking about. Even if you respect me, I'm getting paid and shit. Whereas we grew up, respect was a big thing. Respect could get your ass kicked. To this day, with the OGs, respect will either make you or break you.
I could go into a rant, but it trips me out just personally. And fuck it, I know the interview's about you, but one thing that trips me out is, like, with the younger generation now, though, is like, you'll be like, nah, well, that's kind of a little feminine, for lack of a better term, you know what I mean? And be like, yeah, but he's getting paid. Like, what the fuck does that mean, dog? Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's the defense of it. Like,
feminine and getting paid, hey, each his own. I mean, if you have gay tendencies and you do gay things and you're getting paid for it, hey, each his own. Like, I'm not a homophobe, each his own. But own it. Whatever it is you do in life, own that shit. You know, if that's how you're getting paid, own it. Don't deny it. Like, no, it's not. It's not. It either is or it isn't. There's no real gray area.
At Super Unleaded Gasoline on Instagram. How can we know which boxes, or actually, what are some of the boxes you've done?
As far as themes, the original box started off with a sunset silhouette, which is basically, a lot of my boxes are pretty much things that I've thrown into my graffiti pieces when I was bombing. I just pulled the letters off of them. So it started off with sunsets. I believe it was like sunsets with the first box. Second box was sunset. And somewhere along the line, I started thinking, like, this is a box. Let me try to find things that are either visuals that can be wrapped around the whole box, things that are actually in the object of a box that can be painted like a box with phone booths and turntables and square objects, or just community-pleasing themes. Like, there's gas tanks, there's gas pumps, there's phone booths, there's the city silhouettes, there's gay and lesbian butterfly boxes, there's regular butterfly boxes. I do a lot of them for the LAFD. My goal is to get every fire station in our city, the closest box to them, an LAFD box. Because, you know, face it, this day and age, with all that Marvel shit, who is a hero? You know, and firefighters to me are day-to-day heroes.
Word up. OGHuskyRadio.com. Instagram at Super Unleaded Gasoline. No canvas work, though, man. What's up with the canvas, man? They can hit you up for custom canvas? Or?
Hey, well, my alcoholic defect flaws, man, just trying to get it right. You can hit me up for a canvas. It'll probably get done for you. I have a waiting list, about 20 or 30 people waiting for artwork from me. You know who you are. I'm sorry. It's just, I think it's just the focus of my time and energy, really sitting down there and making this shit happen. And within the next year or so, I definitely plan on knocking out canvases for shows and making it happen.
What about the pins, man? Are you gonna reissue the pins and let them know what the first issue?
Oh, the
was?
lapel pins?
Yeah.
Well, the first issue was that dripping gas canister jerry can pin. Made 100 of them. Grease lightning, that shit sold out. I didn't know how I was gonna do, so I only made 100. And based off of that, I'm about to drop my second pin, which is actually a utility box. I made a 200 limited edition run number to those. Based on how that goes, I'll probably bring back the gas can for people who didn't get it, number those ones.
As the owner of the original gas can, I say you don't do that so that my value could go up. So just as a collector of your work, I'm just saying.
All right, I'll flip it like this. I'll make the same image, but with a different color scheme.
That's what I'm
So you
talking
can
about.
differentiate the people who were supporting me when I was getting out of my alcoholism, trying to make money another way and do that, and the new ones. Plus the new ones are numbered, so you'll know like it's an OG one. It's not signed on the back and not numbered, you know.
I still have the slap tag for it too, so that's for sale at OG
That's
Husky
not
Radio.
happening. I'm not making slap tags for any more pins. Like you got one of those. I don't do slap tags in general. Period. It's not my thing.
Yeah.
You know, we know the slap tag king was. Search
Yeah.
one. You know, I
That's
never
right.
really got into stickers. It's not my thing. I just don't say I don't think it's real graffiti. I think it's easy graffiti. I guess nothing beats the feeling of writing on a wall or spray canning a wall. I'm not knocking any sticker guys, 'cause some guys made a whole career off of stickers.
Yeah.
But it's just not my thing, and therefore I don't do stickers. So if you want a sticker, you need to find me at a show and I'll do one for you. Or some people hit me up via Instagram like, will you make me a sticker pack? And that's probably 10 plus people who still don't have a sticker pack, because like, you know.
I want to thank you for coming through, man, and sharing.
I want to thank you for letting me represent myself in a sober light.
But you have a badge around your neck, dog. I
Job
can't.
shit.
All right.
Officer of the law.
OG Husky Radio.
Thank you much. Husky Radio all day, baby.
Stay posted. More interviews to come.
Word.